Today we can finally say Jamie Kloss is home.
A nationwide search for a missing Wisconsin teen is over as Jamie Kloss is found alive 88 days after she disappeared.
This is News 3 at noon.
Nearly 3 months after she vanished, Jamie Kloss has been found alive. She's recovering in the hospital now, expected to be reunited with her family soon. Investigators gave an update on the case this morning, sharing information about the man they arrested. Police say Jamie was abducted on October 15th and held against her will. After her parents were murdered in their Barron home, she was found in the town of Gordon yesterday, which is in Douglas County, about 65 miles from where she was last seen. 21-year-old Jake Thomas Patterson of Gordon faces kidnapping and homicide charges. Police say there does not appear to be a connection between him and Jamie. News 3's Danica Lewis has been in Barron since early this morning. She joins us live now. Danica, what's the latest?
Well, Mark, it is very interesting, I think, to point out the fact that you just did. The fact that these two, the suspect and Jamie Kloss, are not connected in any way, at least according to the Barron County Sheriff. Now, Jamie is expected to be back in her hometown by early this afternoon. But this morning was all about praising the 13-year-old for her bravery and determination to escape where they believe she was being held captive against her will. Now, Barron County Sheriff Chris Fitzgerald spoke with us during a press conference earlier today. And at that time, Jamie was still being questioned by detectives and being evaluated by mental health experts. We still don't know what happened to Jamie over the last 3 months, how she's doing now, or how she managed to escape from a home in Gordon where she was being held against her will. But what investigators do know is they're ecstatic that Jamie is safe.
In cases like this, we often need a big break, and it was Jamie herself who gave us that break.
And then when we confirmed with Sheriff Dahlbeck's team that it's confirmed it was her, my legs started to shake, man. It was awesome.
Some very real reaction there from Sheriff Fitzgerald. Now, investigators say the suspect, Jake Patterson, who you just mentioned there, Mark, planned the abduction, and targeted Jamie. He had no prior criminal record before this and no apparent contact with Jamie or her parents before they were killed. You may remember that as well. He is expected to make his first court appearance sometime next week. Now, there is another press conference that will happen right behind me here in Barron at 4 o'clock this afternoon. That is when we are hoping to learn a little bit more about Jamie's condition and what may have happened to her over the last 88 days or so. We'll be sure to carry that live for you over on channel3000.com and on Live at 4. Mark?
Danica, still a lot of questions to be answered. Hopefully we'll get those soon. Thank you. Danica Lewis reporting live from Barron. Administrators with the Barron Area School District were emotional as they talked about the teen today. The district held many events like this balloon release as a way to honor Jamie as police search for her. Administrators say the school safety team within the Department of Justice plans to help faculty and students in the weeks to come. The team will provide the district with on-site support through school psychologists, therapy dogs, and resource officers. Investigators received more than 3,000 tips in their search for Jamie Kloss. Multiple law enforcement agencies on the local, state, and national level were involved. At one time, there were more than 200 investigators working this case. Thousands of volunteers you see here also were brought in to help search the woods and fields near the Kloss home in Barron.
The case had so many technical aspects that were very challenging for law enforcement, and everybody never blinked about putting aside their personal lives to bring a little girl home.
Investigators say this case does remain fluid and plan to provide more information this afternoon at 4, as Danica told us. We'll share your updates with you on Live at 4. Elizabeth Smart is also commenting on Jamie's return. She says it's a miracle the 13-year-old was found safe. Smart was 14 when she was abducted from her home in Salt Lake City in 2002. She was rescued 9 months later. News 3 will have live TV coverage of this case all day long. We'll share any information that becomes available on channel3000.com. Chris Reese is here now with a look at our weather. Sort of a quiet day out there.
It is a quiet day. I think the bigger story when it comes to the weather, Mark, is not what's happening here, but what's not happening here. And a lot of folks just to our south are gearing up for what's going to be a pretty major winter storm for them. In fact, St. Louis, parts of central and southern Illinois through Indianapolis, this is going to be the biggest storm that they have seen in several years, upwards of 5 years. So it's a pretty big deal for a lot of folks to the south. Already we're starting to see this storm come together, where some areas could see 8 to even 12 inches of snow again, all to our south. We're going to be staying quiet here, though we will watch the cloud cover associated with this system continue to increase as we go through the day. We've already seen that this morning. That cloud cover is only going to get thicker going into the afternoon and towards your Saturday. In fact, here current conditions right now, still very gray out there. The temperature 26 degrees right now, which oddly enough is warmer than we were at this time yesterday. We'll top out right around 33 with some light flurries possible tonight as temperatures fall into the 20s.
Boy, that storm is close.
It is very close, but it's not here.
All right. I guess that's good news.
For some.
For some,
at least,
not for
yeah.
you. You want a big storm.
It's all right. I'll be patient, Mark.
We'll get our turn.
Yes.
All right, Chris, I'll see you in a few minutes. We are hoping to learn more about a situation developing out of Walworth County today. Highway J is open again after reports of a large police presence at a home there in the town of East Troy. Franklin police are heading up that investigation, though the details are really limited right now. Officers tell us the public is not in any danger, though they couldn't confirm if there was a death at the home. What we do know is this incident is not related to the Jamie Kloss investigation. The partial government shutdown now matches the longest one ever, 21 days. That was back in 1996 under President Bill Clinton. Today is the first day furloughed government employees and hundreds of thousands still on the job will not get a paycheck. And frustration is mounting.
How do I not spend anything for weeks at a time? Because every day I don't know when the shutdown's going to end.
President Trump is indicating he may end the border wall standoff by declaring a national emergency and using Pentagon money to pay for the wall. During his campaign and again after, President Trump repeatedly promised that Mexico would pay for the border wall, but apparently that's now changed. Democratic House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is pushing Republicans to support funding bills that would reopen several government agencies. And meanwhile, at airports, the vast majority of TSA screeners have been on the job without pay. There's been a modest increase in the number of workers calling in sick compared to last year. TSA officials say if staffing becomes an issue, screening lanes could be reduced at some airports, which will result in longer lines and possibly missed flights. There's more to come on News 3 at noon. I'm next with what Howard's working on in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
If you've never cooked in a pressure cooker or Instapot, you're missing out. So join us as we whip up some pulled pork sliders in half the time. With all the stuff we have going on these days, it seems that most of us are looking for easy ways to get great meals on the table without spending all day in the kitchen. That's why today's safer-to-use pressure cookers and Instapots are so popular. You see, when food cooks under pressure, it cooks quickly and is infused with lots of flavor. So let's start by placing a good-sized pork shoulder that we've seasoned on a rack inside our pressure cooker. We add some water, lock the cover, and let it come to pressure. Then we let it simmer for a little over an hour, which is about a third of the time it normally takes. Once it's done and the pressure releases, we carefully take out our tender as could be pork and shred it with a couple of forks. We put it back in the pot, add a bit of barbecue sauce and pineapple tidbits. When it's heated through, it's done. Our favorite way to serve this is on slider rolls. And whether you put these out for dinner or during a game at halftime, everyone will be all smiles. To get the recipe for our tropical pulled pork sliders, all you have to do is visit our website. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a tasty tropical way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
All right, Howard, thank you. Flurries, a little light snow possible tonight. Chris Reese will share what we can expect throughout the weekend in southern Wisconsin. That's next at noon. Our Call for Action phone bank is open right now, ready to take on your consumer issues. You can call our hotline. Volunteers will help you with any consumer complaints. The number is 608-270-2833. The service open every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday between 11 and 1. Well, gas prices are bringing down the prices of other items. And one restaurant is putting a new twist on the Bird Box Challenge. Here's Tom Hansen with today's Money Watch report.
U.S. stocks lost ground at the start of the session, breaking a 5-day winning streak. Investors are on edge as the partial government shutdown goes into its 21st day, and economists warn that an extended shutdown will increase strain on the U.S. economy. U.S. consumer prices fell for the first time in 9 months. According to the Labor Department, overall living costs dipped down 0.1% in December amid a drop in the cost of gas. However, rental housing and healthcare costs rose steadily. 2019 is off to a slow start for the auto industry. Ford and Jaguar Land Rover both announced thousands of job cuts for their Europe operations. Experts say the job cuts could be a worrying sign of what's to come for the European auto industry, citing a decrease in demand for diesel vehicles, tough rules on gas emissions, and a global economic slowdown. And Netflix is warning viewers not to try everyday tasks blindfolded after the viral hit Bird Box. But one restaurant in Atlanta is ignoring that advice. Guac and Marky's is hosting a Bird Box themed dinner where customers will pay $30 for a ticket to eat their meals blindfolded. The ticket comes with 2 tacos, 1 dip, and a margarita of the restaurant's choice. Diners will then have to guess exactly what they're eating. And that's your CBS Money Watch report. For more, head to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the New York Stock Exchange, I'm Tom Hansen.
All right, Tom, thank you. The Dow Industrial's down 38 points at the noon hour. The NASDAQ down 15. Let's check in now with Q106 from Dr. Pam Yankee. I think I want to see what I'm eating.
I was just going to say, come to my house and you're always going to guess what you're eating. That's the way I cook,
You don't
man.
have to be blindfolded.
You don't know.
Mystery food.
That's right. That's an open conversation at my place. What great news that Danica's bringing us today. That's so nice to have that information on Jamie Kloss. Great way to start off a Friday. Here's another good way to start off our Friday. Let's take a look at our new 2019 Wisconsin Fairest of the Fairs. I told you about her before. She represented the Brown County Fair. Her name is Megan Beekle, and she is from Wrightstown. She is the gal on the left. Standing next to the 2018 Fairest of the Fair, Isabella Hahn from up by Kewaunee County. So she is officially on the job now. If you're going to be attending any public events or something like that, you might get a chance to meet Megan yourself. Wanted to make sure I gave you a visual attachment that you could take a look at as far as our Fairest of the Fair. Congratulations again. So the markets continue to try to scamper. We were supposed to get a World Ag Supply Demand report today, but federal government shutdown is postponing that. So instead, we're looking at new numbers that came out from Argentina. They are lowering their expectations on their corn production and their soybean production. It's been enough to keep our markets fairly firm. That's what's happening with grain trade. Another livestock development in Wisconsin. Chuck Adamy, the president and CEO of the Equity Cooperative Livestock Sales Association, has announced he's going to retire. June of 2019, Chuck is going to officially step away. They have already got at least partial team successors in place. Kurt Larson is going to take over as president come March. Chuck has been with the Equity Livestock Group since 2000 when he joined as their chief financial officer. 2 years later, they promoted him to president and CEO, and he's been there ever since. He said it's one of the most rewarding parts of his career is working with agriculture. He said that's why it makes it so tough to think about retiring, and I understand that completely, Chuck. I'm sure he'll still be around, though, so congratulations on that. Dairy trade today in Chicago. Now, our fluid milk contracts just turned around. I think when I sent the numbers over, they were trading a little bit lower. Now they have turned the corner, and they're back up 6 to 8 cents February through May fluid milk. Our product prices are mixed. Barrel cheese today down a quarter at $124.50. 40-pound block cheese, that was up 2 at $141, and double A butter today up 2 1/4 cents at $2.25 3/4 per pound. So that's where the markets stand. You know, honestly, thank goodness for this weather forecast today. I can't imagine what road conditions would have been like for Danica this morning, going from Madison all the way up to Douglas County and now turning around this afternoon sometime, hopefully making her way safely back down here. Good thing the road conditions are good.
And we got Keely Arthur. She's heading up there as we speak, so they're going to be crossing paths.
Okay, well, like I said, thank goodness it's a nice weekend for travel that way.
Absolutely. Good weekend all around. Thank you, Pam. We'll see you next week. And
Sounds
Chris is here now with the news of that big storm just to the south of us.
Yeah, just to our south, Mark. Temperatures here, oddly enough, are warmer than they were at this time yesterday. The thing is, it just does not feel like it. Yesterday, we had the sunshine and that winter haze to at least create the feeling of being warmer, but we're actually warmer today by 5 degrees, though it just looks gray and gloomy. 26 is our temperature right now. We do have winds out of the south at 13 miles per hour. That's actually going to help warm things up at least by a couple more degrees into the afternoon. 28 already for Janesville, 27 in Watertown, 26 in Monroe as well. All of us are generally in the middle to upper 20s. Black River Falls at 31, and I think a lot of us will see those temperatures in the 30s by the afternoon. Just to our south and west, it's 31 in Iowa City, 32 in Des Moines. And with the warmer temperatures coming in is also cloud cover. The warmer air allows the air to rise and create more cloud cover, and we're going to see more and more of that going through the day because we do have a system that is developing across the central part of the country. And really, it's the only thing happening over the country right now, but a lot of folks are going to be impacted by this. In fact, winter storm warnings from parts of central Missouri all the way through northern Kentucky and southern Ohio. And this, believe it or not, will be one of the biggest storms to impact this part of the country in more than 5 years. We are talking some folks that could see upwards of 9 to even 12 inches of snow. Again, all to our south. Here in Madison, we don't have to worry about this. In fact, we actually have a system dragging in some colder air that's going to keep us dry, and this to our south. But you see just the widespread snow that's going to be flying for a lot of folks. But taking us hour by hour here at home, we'll see those temperatures through the 20s tonight and really in the 20s and 30s throughout early on Saturday. You see just how close that snow is. But it's, again, staying to our south. We'll have that dry air in play, topping out in the low 30s as we head through your Saturday. Then into Sunday, we're going to keep some additional cloud cover around, so not white but gray is certainly how things are going to look. We may see a few peaks of some sunshine, but temperatures again in the 20s in the morning, and they'll struggle through the 30s as we head into the afternoon. Now, where is that cold air? It's still bottled up over Canada, and it's been bottled up over Canada for some time. Of course, we have been watching that, but there are signs that by the end of the month, we could see some of that colder air working its way on down. I want to put the pattern in the motion. Here we are, the date, January 15th there. Now watch what happens as we go forward through time towards the last 10 days of January. You see the core of that cold air just to our north and east, but we're on the edge of that. The question is whether or not we can actually remain stormy with some systems passing by to get some snow chances. Now, the 8 to 14 day outlook from the Climate Prediction Center going through the end of the month does indeed give us at least a small probability of being above average when it comes to precipitation. So while we've been in a snow drought, perhaps as we end January and enter into February, there are chances that that could change. Of course, we'll keep a close eye on all of that. 33 this afternoon. By tonight, we'll see those lows right around 28 degrees. There is a chance for some flurries with that system, so don't be surprised if you see at least a couple of flakes flying. That best chance is going to be mainly south of here. 37 by Monday, 38 into Tuesday. By the time we get you into next Friday and Saturday, we're keeping a close eye on the models, developing another chance for some snow around here. Whether or not that actually materializes into anything substantial, of course, remains to be seen, but nonetheless, we'll watch it.
All right, very mild though.
Very mild for this time of the year. Temperatures are well above average, and they have been for quite a while.
They have. All right, Chris, thank you. There's more to come on News 3 at noon. After 88 days of searching, Jamie Kloss is found alive. We're going over the next steps in this case next at noon. Recapping, missing Wisconsin teen Jamie Kloss has been found alive. She is currently recovering in the hospital, expected to be reunited with her family sometime this afternoon. Investigators say the 13-year-old was abducted on October 15th and held against her will after her parents were murdered inside their Barron home. She was found in the town of Gordon yesterday, which is in Douglas County, about an hour from where she lived. Gordon is arrested as 21-year-old Jake Thomas Patterson. He has been arrested and charged with kidnapping and 2 counts of homicide. Police say he is expected to be in court sometime next week. They plan to provide another update on this case today at 4. We will carry that news conference live later this afternoon on Live at 4. Quite a remarkable day.
Absolutely. And the weather staying quiet. I know a lot of folks are going to be traveling up that direction to cover this story. And any kind of snow is going to be staying well to our south. Temperatures, though, are going to be staying in the 30s with a lot of cloud cover going through the weekend. I think we'll see some better sunshine headed through Monday, Tuesday, and really through all of next week before a snow chance next weekend.
All right, that's our time for now. Thanks for watching. We'll see you back here at 4. Have a great afternoon.
Making plans that are weather dependent? Get an accurate 12-hour, even a 10-day forecast. Download the Channel 3000 First Alert Weather app and start planning.